Alright YouTube, 106 Falconer here with another freaking exciting video. We're going to tear apart this Lynxx, Freight Lynxx 40 volt brushless motor, battery operated freaking chainsaw. See what's inside there. I want to see AVE. He tears a bunch of stuff down, but I've never seen him tear apart the Lynxx brand from Walmart, Harbor Freight. This is going to be my third time tearing it down. The first time I tore it down, I had no audio on the video. Second time I tore it down, the exposure, I left it on manual because I was fucking around with some extension tubes, manual extension tubes for some macro shit, and forgot to turn it back, so the video was just all washed out. So this is my third attempt. So anyways, the whole thing, T20, take everything apart except for the motor. That's a T25. From the videos I've seen from AVE, like the DeWalt chainsaw, this seems to be built a lot better. Seems to be built a lot better than the DeWalt for a lot less money. Get this handle off here. Now the AVE dude, I mean, all right. Before I get into that, tightening the bar. I use a pair of pliers tightening it down. If you don't, you freaking lose your oil. I mean, it just freaking pours right out if you don't tighten it down with pliers. Luckily on this one you can tighten it down with pliers, snug it up tight. The problem is you got to have pliers with you to if you want to adjust the chain. Not like the DeWalt, which has a ratcheting stop in there, so apparently you can only get it so far. Alright, let's see here. We're going to take that we'll get the bar off. I have really no idea the names of the crap in here. That AVE dude, the fucking guy's amazing. I mean, he's just like me, only younger. He actually knows what he's talking about. Well, as far as I know, and has more money. Pretty sure he's Canadian. So other than that, he's just like me. There's where the oil comes out. Right there, this little rubber gasket here. So if you snug that down with pliers, that keeps that oil from leaking at all. All right, so we're gonna take. Let's see, we're just gonna take. This is not a disassembly video. This is just a what's in the freaking thing video. The other thing too is that the clamshell, once you get it apart, I mean it goes back together perfect. Not a freaking problem. I mean, it seems like a really good rig. I'll show you the batteries here in a minute. Take the battery apart. Oh, shit. Yeah. Take your battery out before you do it, and discharge your capacitors. Yesterday when I put it back together, squeezed the trigger, I forgot to discharge the capacitor, and the blade without a battery in there traveled about 2 inches, which is enough to, if you got your arm on there, you could really give yourself a little bit of problem. Alright, well, it didn't do it this time. So the capacitors are discharged. Alright, so you get them 4 out there, the 4 T20s. Then you got to take your drive sprocket off. Just a little snap ring on there. We'll pop that off. It's really easy disassembly and reassembly. Little snap rings off. Take your drive off. Let's see here. All right, that side's good. I don't think I have to take any of this off. I have before. I've taken whatever the hell this shit is off, but I'm gonna try not doing it today. All right, so now we'll take this side off here, the motor cover. The brake there's a micro switch in there. All right, so we got that off. Now we'll come here. This right here is the oiler. Little gear drive. Out or in, out. Right there. You gotta take that off. You got 2 Phillips head screws. The batteries, I pulled the battery apart. They're Samsung 18650s. Supposedly. I took 2 batteries apart just to be sure. Both of them have the Samsung 18650 batteries in there. And if you look at the model number, the INR 18650-25R, looked them up online. They are 5-star rated. They're about $4 a piece. So there's 10 batteries in here, so that's $40 worth of batteries if you were to buy them individual. Now that's if they are actually that. I know that when I bought my camera a few years ago, my Panasonic G85, which I'm filming this on, there was a lot of, I mean, it's a pain in the ass because you don't know, when you buy something on Amazon, you don't know if it's real or counterfeit. And there was a lot of talk about counterfeit cameras, counterfeit batteries. You know, unfortunately, you don't know what you're getting. So I don't know if them are actually Samsung batteries or not. All right, now these two here, I got to use an Allen wrench. 3mm Allen wrench will take them T20s out. I just don't have a T20 head long enough to get in there. So we'll take them apart. Yeah, the oiler on that, like I say, if you snug it up with your pliers, she stops leaking. If you don't, you're gonna have oil all over the place. I mean, I used to use this. I'd put just enough oil in it for what I wanted to cut. Well, I mean, I just put a little bit of oil in there and bar oil and go. But then when I tightened it down with the channel locks, it stopped leaking. And then yesterday, when I put it back together after tearing it apart again for the second time, I didn't tighten it up with the pliers, and it leaked. So that's a problem with that. All right, so this one here has a long screw. This one is the shorter one, like that. That's what dropped. So with this saw here, if you have 2 batteries, You can freaking pretty much rock and roll. I've really cut a lot of shit with this saw. And it just basically stays out here. Come on, you fucking mother. What the? Already loose that one. A little off my game today because I drinking a little Guinness Extra Stout. I haven't drank a beer in 4 months. It's kind of got me a little I don't know. Oh, I like weed better. Alright, so there we go. We got the clamshell apart. I mean, this thing, from watching AVE videos, this thing seems like a well-built freaking unit. I mean, the molding, everything on it looks, I mean, perfect. The plastic, it's saying here is a, well, I don't know if that's plastic or not, but it's PA6-GF Golf Frank 30. So it's Papa Alpha 6-Golf Foxtrot 30, and then down the bottom is TPE, Tango Papa Echo. But there's flex in there, but nothing, you know, I mean, it's freaking plastic. I'm sure it's glass reinforced. Has that special, you know, 10,000 whatever grease. I don't know what the hell. I just figured I'd show it to you. Just for shits and giggles, because I'm bored off my ass. Alright, trigger just pops out. Your lock comes out with the spring in there. You get your your micro switch for the trigger right there. The brake, alright, there's a micro switch right there that when you engage the brake, it kills the battery. If that fails, there's this secondary stop right here, this plunger. That the rod goes down in here and will engage this positive lock spring right inside there. So that will stop the motor from turning. So it's got a fail-safe on it. Your oiler, your rubber lines come through. They put springs on the outside. This is what goes in the other side, the other half of the clamshell, and then goes out to the bar. The line back in here also has a spring around it. Your brain box here is pretty simple. You have two big capacitors on there, a 40 amp automotive style fuse. The motherboard is sealed with some clear shit in there. No idea what it is. The wires look really good. Here's where your battery connects in. That's soldered right in there direct. The only issue with your terminals in here is that when you put the clamshell together, this has a little bit of rock to it in there. I mean, nothing much, but other than that, the rest of the clamshell goes together freaking, you know, perfect. Now to get the motor out, you have these two little pieces of fiberglass, Phillips head screws in there, holding that in. You got to take your secondary lock out, or whatever you want to call it. Take that out. Then your cold air intake will pop out, and then the motor will pull out. once you take out the T25 bolts. So let's do that real quick here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to this. I was really impressed with the batteries, with them Samsung batteries, because my vape machine, when you try to buy batteries for that, of course, like I say, you never know what's fake and what's real. They seem to be more pricey. I do have this Harbor Freight Braun light right here, which, I mean, I love this thing. This thing is freaking awesome. And that also takes an 18650 battery, rechargeable battery. But that's a different, I mean, it's not a Samsung, but it's kind of nice. All right, so let's see, we got them out. Now we got to take our lock out. So it's 2 T20s on top and then 2 Phillips on the bottom. And then you got this little saddle, whatever the hell, to keep that plunger from popping out. Right there. You know, let me shove this back in there. We got that. Now, I'm going to take the Phillips head out. The motor is the one thing that really looks weak on here. I mean, compared to the DeWalt and like the Milwaukee, it is pretty sketchy. But I'll tell you what, I've cut like 20-inch logs with this thing. I mean, not like on Axemen. I mean, just doing it because I bought it. I had a hemlock fall out of my yard there during the winter. I cut that up with this. Whoops, son of a bitch. All right, so there's this portion of the lock assembly. Has that super secret dilithium grease on there, whatever. No idea what the hell it is. And there's our cold air, whatever, ram air, whatever. Then down, well, let me dump stuff out here. Whole thing's falling apart now. Oh God, that's not what I wanted to have happen. But as you see, I mean, it comes apart easy. Now let me unplug the motor. Come on, what the frick? All right, so we got the motor. Now we got to take them T25s out. Let's see here. Oh my God, man. I really am legitimately, the older I get, I have become a freaking pussy. Oh my God. I'm like some weak little schoolgirl. Man alive, drives me freaking nuts. Alright, we got that. That. And this motor will just pull up on out of here. So like I say, the motors are the T25s, the bolts or the screws I'm not going to pull the whole motor apart, but as you can see, the windings in there and stuff are not the best. But you can also see that, I mean, I really have used this thing pretty hard, and you're not seeing anything on there. Nothing smells burnt. But you got to have 2 batteries when you use it. Oh, here's the number on this motor. Right there, 36 Bravo Lima .100.800.003. That's the only markings on this motor. I mean, pretty beefy rig, but definitely not in the same. From watching his videos and seeing what this is, this looks a lot more chintzy. But like I say, it works fine for me. If you're cutting up pallets, or 2, 3, 4 inch limbs, or you want to get down in the dirt and cut tree roots or something, you can't beat it, because I mean this thing's like $159. So it's really hard to beat the price for the quality, because I think the quality is definitely in there. I mean, this half of the clamshell is freaking, I mean, that's pretty rock solid. It does fade. You can see the original color versus the couple year on color. You can see that's faded down. But like I said, this thing stays outside all the time. I mean, this winter it was covered with snow. Of course, the battery's out, but there is nothing in here. I mean, it's clean as hell inside. And like I say, I'm not easy on my tools. You're not going to go out and do lumberjacking with this, but if you want to go out and do some trimming, cut your rhododendrons down, whatever the hell you want to do, this freaking thing will do it. The battery. Okay, now the batteries, they heat up fast. Here's this one. I got totally taken apart. You can see this one. I got 4 lights on there. As long as you can swap the batteries, swap them around. You get 2 batteries, swap them around. You can just keep rocking and rolling. As long as your chain's sharp. Now, when you tighten it down with when you use your pliers to tighten the bar down, it's kind of finicky, because you'll get it adjusted just right. Tighten it all you can with your hand, and then when you put a little extra squeeze on it with your pliers, tighten it down, it tightens the chain up too. So you got to feel for that. Here's the micro switch. I can't tell if we're in focus or not. Oh yeah, nice. There's the micro switch for the brake that will cut the power to the battery. And like I say, if that fails, you have your mechanical stop right there. So all in all, let's see, did I fail to cover anything with this? The solder joints on your battery connector, I mean, good freaking solid wires. Oh shit. I mean, for the money, this is 159 or 169 or 149 compared to the couple $300 for the DeWalt or the Milwaukee. This is definitely in my opinion worth the money. And like I say, I've used and abused it, no issues other than the heating up of the batteries. So, well, what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna put the battery together. When you put the clamshell for the battery back together, like so, you have these ones that go on the inside, and you just have these little vents. So I'm going to just try leaving them right out on either side and seeing if that'll let the battery breathe more, because it's not the saw that heats up. When you run it, it'll just stop. You pop the battery out, put your new cold battery in, and it keeps going. So it's an issue with the battery overheating. Other than that, that's this battery here. This one I keep in my Lynxx blower, and this thing sat in the blower all winter long, and it still has a full charge on. As a matter of fact, I just used the blower today. So, I mean, the Lynxx, the chainsaw, the blower, I got no issues with them. I think it's a damn good product. The weed whacker, I have one of them also. That's kind of regrettable because you cannot change the heads on there. You can buy a Ryobi, because you use Ryobi parts to repair them, and they have a head that has two plastic cutter arms on it. And that don't last worth a shit. So, anyways, that's it. It's easy to put together, easy to tear apart. Not much in there that can go wrong. But other than that, it's really, I mean, it's freaking well built. I don't know what you can say, what you can say bad about this product. I mean, you're only going to get so much out of a freaking battery-operated chainsaw anyways. So for me, hey, it does the trick. All right, well, that's it. I'm going to put the bitch back together and get on with my coronavirus lockdown. I think that's it. Yep. All right, see ya, bitches.